Okay, aloha everybody, and welcome. My name is Mickey, and I am the Polynesian Voyaging Society director of the Learning Center, which is our education program for the worldwide voyage. And today we are so blessed and lucky to have with us one of our navigators, Chad ʻOnohi Paishon. Welcome, ʻOnohi.
Mahalo nui. Aloha.
Oh, we're so excited to have you here.
Oh,
So,
thanks for having me.
Onohi's, thank you so much for joining us. And one of the things that we wanted to ask Onohi was, with all of your guidance and wisdom,
Mm,
we had our Va'akaulua, Hokulea, and Hikianalia. They actually waited 7 days, yeah, before they left
right.
Hilo. Um, and so, the canoes waited 7 days to leave Hilo for favorable winds and weather. And how do
Right.
you think that decision has played out?
I think it really played out in the favor of Hokulea and Hikianalia and the crew, but especially important is for the apprentice navigators that are doing this for the first time. They've got great support aboard the canoes, as three of our other pool navigators are on the voyage with them. But it's really in that sense that waiting for weather is really the determining factor of success in the voyage. So waiting 6 to 7 days for the right opportunity to go is critical, because everything that they do from leaving Hilo and everything going forward from there is dependent upon the weather. So waiting is both, it can be the right thing to do, but also knowing when at a certain point that you need to go, because the weather has a certain pattern to it,
Mhm.
and looking for that pattern and knowing when to go, um, even if the pattern might not be in the best of where you are, basically around Hilo, but it might be at the right time further out from Hilo, that it could work into your advantage if you go at that certain time. So it was really a great decision that they made to hold off and to look at what the weather was doing before they left Hilo. I think it's actually starting to work in their favor right now.
So, given that, what do you think that they can expect now between now and Tahiti?
I think right now at where they're at right now, they're probably within the ITCZ right now. And typically the ITCZ is a weather pattern that you basically see in the area of 9 north to about 3 north, just before the equator, that sometimes that we call it the doldrums, that because it's a convergence of the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere of the weather system, that sometimes the weather can be zero in the sense of wind, that can be challenging for the crews that are sailing this lake, because the current that runs through that area can set them to the west, and as they get closer towards the equator, there's a countercurrent that will push them to the east. So in really looking at what the weather will be like in the ITCZ, um, it's probably the most challenging area, because there's nothing under your control.
Hmm.
Really what the weather is going to do. You can have wind through the ITCZ. Hopefully the wind is in the right direction. And it's going to determine whether they need to tack, whether they'll have room east or west of their course line. And looking at where they are, they're probably looking to make some decisions of where it'll be right now on
Hmm.
either side of that course line, knowing that there's a countercurrent that's going to be coming up. In that sail plan for them,
Hmm.
they're very much aware of that, and having Nainoa and Kalepa with them on board is the greatest learning opportunity that they have right now as apprentice, to be within the ITCZ, because it's an area that not many people get to experience.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when we're able to sail this leg of the voyage, it's really, really special.
So you've done this course before, and as you said, it's a really special course. What are some of the unique features within this course, but also maybe some of the challenges and some of the really special parts of it.
Maybe the challenges that you have probably in weather-wise sometimes can be that at times in that area, in the ITCZ, in the doldrums, there can be no wind. And so accounting for drift at that time, where is the canoe going, whether that weather system might be there for a day or it can be there for weeks. So really the decisions of what you need to do, that can be the challenge that when you're within the ITCZ. But like I said, like other times, you could have wind in there that you're very fortunate to have to clear you through that area and get you closer to your destination. And when that happens, it's really a special thing that you're given. It's a gift that you're given when you have that wind. So I think for the apprentices right now, that anticipation of getting into the ITCZ and seeing what the weather's going to be like for them, and once they get in there, in past voyages, like I said, from the first voyage of Hokulea in 1976, when they're in there for a few days because of having no wind. And at other times, other voyages that we've crossed through this area, there's been wind, and the canoes have just sailed through, and it's been a smooth crossing. But because each voyage is different, that's really what gives you that background of understanding and knowing why we need to continue to voyage through there. Because we're probably the only, when we look at culturally, a lot of our relations from the South Pacific, they sail east to west. We sail north-south. The only other ones who do that really are our cousins from Aotearoa. But a lot of our cousins from Tahiti or the Marquesas or Samoa, they've been known to sail east to west when you look at the islands. And when we cross, going north to south, there's this whole other group of circumstances that come into play in making the decisions on board, especially for these navigators that are doing it right now. And being prepared for it mentally really is the part that, and spiritually, to understand that they might have to be patient when there is no wind, or that we still need to stay focused the whole time. And it's probably the challenge that they're experiencing right now.
So what do you think, given all of those different challenges and opportunities and the anticipation of these different weather and wind and currents, all of those different systems, knowing that we have our tracking map, that we've been able to watch our canoes as they cross the Pacific, what should we expect to be able to see on the map in the next few days?
I think what you'll expect to see, if within their sail plan for the apprentice navigators, within their sail plan, you'll start to see them try to make adjustments, either to get back towards their course line, or possibly this particular leg is always trying to be to the east of your course line, so that when Hokulea crosses the equator, we know that the islands lie downwind from us. So that when they do decide to make that turn towards their target, which is Rangiroa, that they know that they have a real good understanding where Rangiroa is downwind from them. So if they need to adjust anything, you'll probably see it starting to happen now. Because if the winds are favorable for them, that they got winds to make a tap, to get back to their course line, or to make any type of corrections, you start to see it happen now, because they're probably anticipating once they cross the equator that they'll get more of the southeast trades that are typical of the South Pacific. And being able to be east of their target, to be upwind of their target, is really the optimum. So you start to see them within the next week probably trying to make adjustments if they need to. So you see them possibly tacking You see them moving, really trying to stay either right on their course line or maybe even trying to get a little further east if what they're seeing through their observations in weather, what's happening there. You know? But they'll probably always try and stay right on their course line or probably east of their course line.
Awesome. Wow, thank you so much, Onohi. Um,
You
yeah, so I'm gonna tell our viewers that we should keep track of the voyage, keep checking the tracking map, tune into hokulea.com to track the voyage on our on the Google Tracker, and also we'll continue to update you via Google Plus Hangouts throughout the voyage with our pro navigators, such as our wonderful guest today, Chad Onohi Paishon, and we'll have regular updates on what our navigation reports are as we continue throughout the voyage. Thank you so much.
Mahalo. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.